Very good. Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Aaron Ford, and I am your Attorney General. Delighted to have you here today for a very, very important announcement. I am surrounded by some very important folks that are associated with and will be able to take advantage of the announcement we're making today. I will begin with Noelle Hardt with the Boys and Girls Club, Tamika Shante Rosales as well. To my immediate left is Michael Gayen, outside counsel for me on some very important matters. I also have Donch'e, who is one of my investigators who works in the area that we're going to be talking about today, and one of my trusted members of my consumer protection team, Samantha Feely. When I took this job, I introduced our motto, our job is justice. And we talk about it in the context of what we call our 5 C's. The C that's most important here is protecting of consumers in the consumer protection arena. Today, I'm happy to talk about justice being pursued and actualized in this particular arena. We live in a world today where constantly changing technologies occur every single day. Children raised today don't remember a world without the internet, a world without almost continuous and consistent connection with their peers and their friends. These platforms and this technology are not going anywhere, but that does not mean that we don't take the necessary steps to protect our children. As our children connect online, we must be aware that there are those who would seek to harm them, who would prey upon them, and who must be kept as far away from them as possible. That's why my office has taken steps to hold social media companies and their online platforms accountable for their lack of protection in regards to our children. Today, I'm excited to announce a very important win in this area. I'm proud to say that our state has agreed to a settlement with the interactive gaming platform Roblox. This is going to implement much needed protections to our state's youth on this platform. I'll go step by step through the settlement in just a moment, but first, a bit of background. Our office began its investigation into this platform in November of 2024. And I'm happy to say that Roblox was responsive to our inquiries and came to the table to reach an agreement without us having to initiate litigation against them. Since the beginning of our investigation, Nevada and Roblox have worked collaboratively to address concerns and provide greater online safety protections for Nevada's youth. The culmination of this collaboration is a settlement that I'm proud to announce today. Roblox is an extraordinarily active presence in the lives of America's and Nevada's youth. The platform has around 151.5 million daily active users and is used by nearly half of the entire US population of children under 16 years old. To be clear, around 42% of Roblox users are under and younger than 13. This settlement will create a safer environment for our children online, and I hope that it will serve as a bellwether for how online interactive platforms allow our state's youth to use the products. I'm also proud to say that this settlement incorporates many of the provisions of the Nevada Youth Online Safety Act that my office sponsored in 2024 during the legislative session. Though that legislation did not pass, we never stopped our commitment to implementing comprehensive, common sense online safety measures for our children. Let's walk through some of those measures. As part of this settlement, part of this agreement, all users must undergo age verification to ensure children only have access to age-appropriate content on the Roblox platform. Roblox has committed to using age estimation technology and government-issued ID for age assurance. Roblox will also use behavioral monitoring to identify users who may have been aged incorrectly. Roblox will continually monitor users' behavioral signals on the platform for any indication that these users have lied about their age. Under this settlement, parents will also have an expanded control over their children's use of the platform. This expansion of parental controls allows parents to decide who their children are talking to and the games they are playing on the platform. If there is no parent account, the default content mode provides protection to our minor users as well. This mode will limit users 16 and under whose ages have not been validated by age check. All minor users are restricted from accessing content labeled restricted or any other content rated for adult users. Now, one of the most important aspects of this settlement is that adult users and users under 16 are not able to chat unless they are a trusted friend on the platform. Trusted friends for users under 13 and up to 16, depending upon whether that parent is still linked to the child account, will require parental consent. Unless a parent elects otherwise, 13 to 15-year-olds may add trusted friends through a QR code or phone contact importer. This means this is meant to ensure that the child knows the person outside of the platform. 16 plus users may add trusted friends through a QR code or contact importer, or if they are in a similar age band as another user, they can add each other via profile search. In addition, a warning alert for first-time private chats will be displayed on to the platform users under 18 that warns them about communicating with strangers. These protections allow children to talk to their friends on a platform while being protected from child predators who may be accessing that platform to groom or to otherwise harm child users. Also, and this is also extremely important, no communications involving minors will be encrypted. Let me repeat that. No communications involving minors will be encrypted. We are litigating right now against a different social media platform on this very issue. We believe that encryption is a problem for youth and users of these platforms because predation takes place in the encryption. And so this is very important for us. Non-encrypted communication are about the safety and accountability, and they allow law enforcement to be more effectively investigating crimes involving minors. By not allowing encryption, law enforcement will be able to more easily combat child exploitation networks, trafficking, and the distribution of illegal and harmful content. The lack of encryption will also serve as a deterrent, as predators and other bad actors will know that their communications are not private if they cross the line into criminal behavior. This settlement also requires the restriction of notifications during sleep hours. No children under 13 receive off-platform notifications at all, and those 13 to 18 do not receive them during sleep hours. The notification restriction supports minors' physical health, supports their mental health, and their well-being and their development, in addition to preventing sleep disruption and protecting sleep quality. Through the injunctive terms that we have obtained, these are some of the first of their kind. And Roblox has committed to monetary relief in addition to the changes it's made to this platform. I want to be clear that that injunctive information that I've just shared with you is the main import of every piece of litigation that we are engaged in right now with social media companies to change behaviors of these platforms and to protect our youth. And what I'm most satisfied with is that we have accomplished that short of litigation, and Roblox has come to the table to accommodate those very concerns. That said, Roblox has also committed money to this effort. It's committed to spend $1 million over the next 2 years on an awareness campaign that's intended to educate minor users and adults about online safety. Roblox is also committed to spending $1.5 million to fund a law enforcement liaison position that will provide state law enforcement agencies with communication channels to quickly address safety concerns on the platform. That's a particular import, and the reason why I have my colleague Donch'e here. You see, law enforcement members can speak to the liaison to receive real-time or near real-time answers to questions about their legal processes. Roblox will also offer workshops and trainings for Nevada law enforcement aimed at furthering law enforcement's knowledge with Roblox Law Enforcement Portal and investigating and prosecuting online child exploitation. Roblox is also committing $10 million that's going to come into Nevada over the next 3 years. This money is going to be used for preventive programs to help children participate in innovative non-digital programs such as clubs, hence the presence of the Boys and Girls Club, that help to engage them without electronics. These changes and these contributions will make real changes for the safety and well-being of our children. And I hope that this is a signal to those companies we are facing in the courts right now regarding the protection of our youth. We will work with you. If you come to the table in good faith, we are here to talk. If you do not, however, we will take you to court. We will fight on behalf of Nevada's children, and we're going to win. I want to thank Roblox for coming to the table to help make these necessary changes. And I want to thank those who are here with me today to discuss the safety of our children. One important note that I did not mention was that the agreement also contains what we call a most favored nations clause. That's a technical term of art, which essentially means that if another state behind us comes to get a better deal, we're going to get a pro rata share of that better deal. Whether it's injunctive relief, additional protections, we'll get that protection. If it's monetary, we're going to get a pro rata share of a monetary increase based on that most favored nations clause as well. This is a good deal. And I could hardly sleep last night thinking about the announcement that we were getting ready to make, because this is protecting our children in a way that no other state has been able to accomplish short of litigation. And I'm proud of the work we've done. I want to now introduce one of my colleagues, Donch'e King, to speak about this from the law enforcement area. Donch'e, mic's yours.
Yes, thank you. All right, good morning, everyone. So I'm going to basically talk about a few topics kind of that our office focuses on. But before I start, I just want to say how proud I am to be a part of historic legislation and agreements. It's definitely a pleasure to work for this agency, and we're doing the work that, while most people are sleeping, we're up handling our business. So before I get started, a couple things, housekeeping items. I won't discuss sources, methods, or investigative practices, but I will kind of just hit on what we do as an agency and some of our partners in this spectrum of protecting our children. So let's start with the scope of the problem. Scope of the problem. Nationally in 2024, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, acronym NCMEC, stated that there were over 500,000 reports of online enticement, which was a 190% increase from 2023. They also reported that more than 60 million images were shared of suspected child sexual abuse material were reported during that same 2024 timeframe. Obviously, we have a problem on our hands. Now I'm going to kind of talk about how children are targeted online, because it's important to know, how and why these things are occurring. So we all know that predators are not walking up to your doorstep, knocking on doors. What they're doing is they're entering through screens and contacting your kids through the vulnerabilities of some of these social media platforms. It's estimated that 500,000 online predators are actively pursuing children at any given moment, often operating across multiple platforms. So that's not to say that it's just one singular platform that's a problem. It could be multiple platforms. 89% of predatory contact occurs through chat rooms and instant messaging, often apps that parents don't even know their children are using. Approximately 82% of child sex crimes begin with social media contact on platforms that our kids use every day. So our officers' role, one more point on that online. So in addition to what the predators are using, a lot of these different platforms have currency or tokens or things that they use as a means to purchase items or to upgrade. And the predators are using that to entice our children to solicit or elicit some type of service or reaction from them. Our officers' role in investigation and enforcement. So we are part of Internet Crimes Against Children's Task Force. We're a proud member. We're also a proud member of the FBI, Las Vegas Task Force. And within the past 18 months, our efforts, our agency efforts, and our 2 task force efforts has led to the arrest of over 50 individuals that were targeting our children. So we take this seriously. I'll talk about ways to combat. And one of our ways to combat is community outreach and awareness training, which is one of the AG's 5 C's of community engagement. So our office is hosting and participating in online safety awareness sessions for parents, educators, and students throughout Nevada. These trainings cover the following: digital grooming tactics, sextortion, safe reporting practices, and how to use parental monitoring tools. A couple safety tips for families, because it's not just a problem that we can solve as an agency. It has to be a holistic approach. It takes us, it takes the families, it takes the kids, the educators, and then our non-government organizations. So what I would suggest is talk early and often. Have open-minded conversations with your children. You have to monitor activity. It's one of those things, trust but verify. You know, your kids are going to say, yes, I'm doing all the right things, but at the end of the day, they're children, right? And then a lot of times they may believe that they're talking to other children when indeed it's actually an adult. Know the platform. As a parent, it's our responsibility to get familiar with the platforms that our children are using. So if there are monetary or currency-like items that can be shared or transferred, you know if your kid has access to your credit card account or if someone's sharing money with them. Teach reporting. Make it so that you have a relationship so that your children are comfortable coming to you and telling you when this stuff happens. It's embarrassing for anybody. For an adult, it would be embarrassing. Imagine a child that's embarrassed by being in one of these situations. Have that open line of communication. And then lastly, you can report it to any of the state, local, or law enforcement agencies, the federal law enforcement agencies. You can contact the ICAC task force and report it. You can report it directly to our office at ag.nv.gov, or you can report it to NCMEC's cyber tip line. It's cybertipline.org. And in closing, I want to say this as a general statement on behalf of our office. Protecting Nevada's children is not an option. It's our duty. AG Ford has said previously, our job is justice. And we will stop at nothing to continue to investigate, prosecute, legislate, and hold accountable anyone that targets our children in the state of Nevada. I thank you guys for your time, and I pass back to the attorney today.
Thank you, Donch'e, and thank you to you, your team, and my entire investigatory staff for the work you do in this area. You're right. We will stop at nothing to protect our youth. I want to bring up, this Noelle's going to come speak, right? I'm going to bring up Noelle Hardt, who is with the Nevada Alliance of Boys and Girls Club. I have a great affinity for the Boys and Girls Club. I told her this in my office there. My oldest son used to go to the Boys and Girls Club, and he was the foosball champion. We still had a little trophy in a box in the garage. And so I want to bring you up and you can share some thoughts about what you just heard today. Thank you.
Good morning, and thank you, Attorney General Ford, for your leadership and for bringing us together on this important issue. And I will say we will save you a spot at the foosball table. I'm honored to be here on behalf of the Nevada Alliance of Boys and Girls Clubs. We work with young people in our communities from Elko all the way to Laughlin. We see that this issue impacts our families, particularly our children and our teens every day. We are very dialed into the digital world and certainly how it's shaping children's lives, their relationships, and their well-being. The reality is today's kids are growing up in a world where screens aren't just a part of their life, they're a central part of their life. More than half of teens in the United States are spending over 4 hours a day on screens. When you look at the larger age group of age 8 to 18, that jumps to 8 hours per day. For many children, that exposure starts very early. So nearly half of parents report that they use screens as a form of childcare. Their exposure can start as young as age 2. Now, let me be clear, technology itself isn't the enemy. It can be a powerful tool in learning, connection, and creativity. But when it becomes excessive, that's when we see the consequences. Among our teens with high use, we see 1 in 4 reporting anxiety. 1 in 4 also report depression. These are not just statistics from a report. These are the young people we serve. These are the conversations we're having in clubhouses. That's why Boys and Girls Clubs are deeply committed to promoting online safety and responsible digital citizenship. Here in Nevada, Boys and Girls Clubs uses NetSmarts. This is a National Center for Missing and Exploited Children's program. It is a trusted, research-based program for online safety. It's used by attorney generals and youth organizations throughout America and has been done so for over 2 decades. Through this program, we're not just telling kids to be careful, we're giving them real tools to recognize risks and make smart decisions. But we also know education is not enough. We have to give young people meaningful alternatives. That's why the Nevada Alliance of Boys and Girls Club is working on a statewide initiative to expand screen-free alternatives. That means more fitness, sports, and outdoor recreation programs, more life skills and nutrition programs, peer leadership and community service opportunities. We're investing in programs that get kids moving, thinking, and connecting in real life. We are positive that these programs will help build confidence, develop healthy relationships, and help children gain the skills they need to be successful online and offline. It's about making sure that technology doesn't replace real connection, experiences, and real community. We are proud to stand alongside the Attorney General and our partners across Nevada in this work. Together, we can create online spaces, strong communities, and brighter futures for our young people. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Noelle. I really appreciate your work in that regard. I'm going to open it up to questions, but I want to give acknowledgments where they're due. This has been an arduous task. We were prepared to file a lawsuit, reached out to Roblox, and short of having to do that, we immediately began conversations around this. And I'm happy to say that this morning at around 9 a.m., we filed the consent judgment. I left it in my office. I'm sorry, I was going to show it up as an example here or an exhibit, but the consent judgment has been filed here in Clark County District Court. We are delighted about that, but it could not have been done without the work of a handful of folks that I have to mention before opening up the questions. Mark Kruger, who is my chief of my consumer protection team, couldn't be here today. He's working, but he was instrumental in the negotiations and the back and forth to get things done. My man on the ground, so to speak, in this regard, kept me updated. We speak, quite frankly, several times a day into the wee hours of the morning, sometimes on issues of import, including this one. One of his team members, Sam Feely, is here, and she was engaged, and I want to give her credit where it's due as well. We can't do the work without the entire team, and so thank you for your work. And we had outside counsel, Michael Gayen. I'm really honored to have you on the team. We could not have done this without you, your partners at Clayton Sykes, and others who were very instrumental in this. And again, we should give credit where it is due. Thank you so much for the time, hours, and efforts that you put into this as well. So with that said, I'll open it up for a handful of questions if you have any.
Attorney General, you mentioned the 151 million daily active users. I'm assuming that's nationwide. Do we have any numbers on here in Nevada?
We don't have specifics, but we'll get that to you, okay?
And then when it comes to this kind of program, are you guys working to expand into other gaming platforms as well?
Well, we have, the short answer would be, we'd love to. But the fact is we have litigation ongoing right now with several social media platforms. One of those pieces of litigation involved a very important component that Roblox has already agreed to, which was the encryption, the end-to-end encryption of messaging. We would love to have other gaming platforms take the, follow the lead of Roblox in this regard and work with us to protect our youth. But short of that, we will continue litigating. And we have prevailed at every level relative to pushing back against those platforms that are attempting to escape our jurisdiction. The Supreme Court has sent those back to district courts, and we're scheduled for trial in some of those, and we'll continue to pursue that if we have to.
How long is this?
It's in perpetuity. The injunctive relief is going to be a change that happens all the time. The money is going to come in over the next few years, The liaison is for, I believe, $1.5 million over the course of a few years as well. And then the public information campaign, so to speak, is over the next few years as well. Yes, ma'am.
Are these protections in place just for Nevada users or users across the board?
Well, I think it would be difficult for them to make them just for Nevada, but my concern is not elsewhere. At a very minimum, it's going to be geofence for Nevada, for Nevada children and our youth. And that's been the approach that I've tried to take. Even with the legislation that I was doing, I understood that there may have been geofencing requirements in order to make those things happen. But I'll leave it to them to determine how they want to do. Well, my focus is on protecting Nevada youth. This does exactly that.
And then, so it's like a $10 million settlement plus like $1 million for a program and then another $1 million for the hiring of that law enforcement?
Yeah, $1.5 million for the hiring and enforcement.
So like over $12 million total.
Yes.
And then could you also provide like a status update on the other lawsuits that you have going with the other social media companies and what that's at?
Sure. We can take more of that offline. I would just simply say that one of them has been set for trial for next April. I can't remember exactly which one that is off the top of my head. But almost every, whether it's Snap or Meta or Instagram, they've all tried to evade our jurisdiction by filing motions to dismiss. We have prevailed on those. The Supreme Court has unanimously sent each of those back to the district court, and they will be scheduled for trial, and we're in the discovery process on most of those cases.
That'd be great.
When it comes to the push for getting kids outdoors, and this could be you, Attorney General, or you, Noelle, the digital presence right now is so strong with kids, even with an investment so large when it comes to money. Do you think you realistically can encourage kids to come away from the screen and go outdoors again?
Most definitely. So, no, please. So especially in light of some of the school district reductions in organized sports, certainly Boys and Girls Clubs is at a position immediately after school, our blue doors are open. And so we're welcoming those kids into our clubhouses, into our fields. And I think in instances just like what's happening in Northeast Las Vegas here, where the Shaquille O'Neal Foundation is partnering with Raiders, UFC, and the LA Lakers to open up a 30,000 square foot facility, including a gym and a 54,000 square foot field. These are phenomenal public and private partnerships that are coming together to really entice youth back onto fields and back to that sense of real community.
One more question? Any? All right, hearing none. Thank you so much for coming out, everybody. Take care.